Hello and welcome back, everybody out there in Union Arena Land. We have another deck tech video for you today, and we are going over what is called the Brothers Blue deck within Code Geass. We are joined today with Kyle from Unionversity as he is walking us through this, well, seemingly straightforward, but admittedly very niche style of gameplay and deck that we have before us right now. So let's start with the basics, shall we? Kyle, how would you describe the overall identity of the Brothers deck?
Wanting to be yellow and blue. That's basically the simplest way to put it.
Oof.
It wants to be yellow in a blue deck. I don't understand why this wasn't a yellow deck, to be honest with you. Should have been a yellow deck.
Because they got blue. So what about it makes it like that, though?
So the whole gimmick is that Rolo's abilities are to choose one of your opponent's characters on the front line, switch it to resting. And then they all play off of that. So Lelouch, if your opponent has a rested character, draw a card when played. Zero is being able to switch one of your you may switch to resting one active Order of the Black Knight affinity card on your front. If you do, your opponent switches to resting one of their active characters on the front line. See, this should have never been a blue deck because the color trigger for this deck actually stupid. So, because again, your main focal point after a bit is, you get to look at cards, do searching for, Order of the Black Knights and stuff. What at the end of the day, what makes all these benefits? Because again, even your raid target for Rolo switches itself to rested. Choose up to one character on your opponent's front line, switches to resting. You use Locket to kind of change that position, right? So the ability of Locket is basically, you can only use one Locket per turn, so you can't abuse it, which I find just stupid in general. You should just be able to use as many as you want because this is the gimmick of the deck. Choose one Rolo or Vincent Rolo fighter on your field, switch it to active. It gains 1,000 DP until the... If Lelouch or Shiroki, we don't play Shiroki. No, that's the mech. Sorry. Yes, we play Shiroki. Is on your field. Choose up to one of your AP, switch it to active. Yes, I kind of get why they didn't want you guys to spam the robot, suspend twice, just spam lockets to keep doing that. I get it. I understand, but I don't care for it. Should have not been restricted to once per turn because the deck needed that.
Alrighty, so let's talk about the curve, shall we? Can we walk us through the zeros and then the ones and work your way up to these big raiders, talking about all the synergies along the way?
So we have Rolo Lamperouche, just add your card to the hand, 15k zero cost. We have the zero cost Lelouch Lamperouche, just straight up, draw a card 2k. Then we have Zhao. She's in here because she's a trigger. That's all her functionality is. She's a 2k trigger.
Fair enough.
I mean, there's not enough support. This deck needs another wave for it to be able to focus what it wants to do. But they won't give Code Geass another wave apparently because Niece's anime, and that is broken. So they said, screw Code Geass. We're going right into the Niece, and they made 3 decks that were stupidly broken for no reason other than just to be broken. So that's her zero cost. Then we have Zero himself. So Zero he's treated as Lelouch Lamperouche because of course he is. That is his whole gimmick. He is Zero and Lelouch. When played, look at the top 4 cards deck, add up to 1 Orders of the Black Knights affiliate card among them, add it to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom deck in any order. If you added a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. Cool. This card I hope every deck eventually gets. I think this is stupidly good. C2, 1 action point. Nullify impact, but when sidelined, choose up to 1 character on your... It gains nullify impact until the end of turn. This should be in every deck known to man in this game. there is no reason why this deck only exists to have this. No other deck that I know of in Union Arena has this. So please.
Not on a 1-drop, no.
Not on 1-drop. Because, again, people will out this thing, and then all of a sudden your 4Ks now, congratulations, Nullify Impact. Come at me. So, then we have Rolo. Two cost here. 3K, but if on your front line, switch to resting. Choose up to one of your opponents to resting. Just fancy. Do things. Then we have Zero itself. So, this card is treated as Lelouch Lamprous to resting one active Order of the Black Knight affiliate card on your to resting one active character on their front line. It forces your opponent to choose, but you know, eventually you can make the right force. Lelouch Lamprous is as long free cost here is strictly in here for the fact that when played, if there's a rested character on your opponent's front line, draw a card. 35k BP. We are playing the C2. You could play the Rolo. It's another option, but I like C2 because when played, you may place up to 2 cards from your hand into your sideline. If you do, look at the top, add up to 2 cards among them to your hand, place the remaining card in any order. So she's a filter too, with 1 bottom deck. I mean, don't you want to get pieces to your hand sometimes? And drawing cards, adding cards for importance. Sometimes dead cards are dead cards. You could definitely play Rolo. The super rare, if that is really what you want to play. That card reads as followed. I just want to make sure I get it right. Rolo says, when played, you may pay 1 AP. If you do, choose up to 1 character with activate main ability, 3000 DP or less, and 1 energy generation on your opponent's front field. Sideline it. The fact that you could play the Rolo just because hit their energy line to make them sad is funny. So, I mean, it's a little costly to 2 AP to kill something on your opponent's field, but...
Is that a character? It only hits characters, or does it also hit sites?
It has to have an active main ability. Choose up to 1 character with an active main ability.
Because if that said site, oh yeah, I was about it. If it said site, I was about it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's up to you on the C2 versus Rolo. Up to you. Next, we do...
One thing I do want to point out, though, before we skip over these 2 cards, they're both 3-drop 3.5Ks. That is fantastic. Yep. That is huge. That avoids purple CG. So, anyways, continue.
Yeah, hitting those magic numbers. Next, we have our AP restand 1 in a million. Just a whole bunch of everyone playing cosplay. I am 0. Next, we have Geass of Absolute Suspension. Choose up one of the following. Choose up to 1 character on your opponent's line, switch to resting. If Rolo or the Vincent Rolo fighter is on your field, switch to resting. Switch it to resting. It will remain set to resting the next time it would switch to active, draw a card. So basically, you get to switch something to rest it and permanently lock it for a turn, which is not bad. Or you get to choose up to 1 rested character on your opponent's front line sideline. So here's the fun part. This doesn't do DP targeting. This basically means it will be able to kill most anything with stupidly high removal as long as you can suspend it, right? So yeah, that's what you kind of do there. Next big thing, we do have Lock. Locket is basically how you get your stuff to restand and hit bigger numbers, and Locket is restricted to once per turn. I find that stupid. Should never have been a hard lock. But now we have the mechs itself. Rolo Fighter and Kiroko, whatever the hell its name is. Huh?
Shin Kiro.
Vincent here is when played, choose up front line, switch it to resting. It'll remain set to resting the next time it would. This is why I'm saying it does Yellow's gimmick in blue. Activate main if on the front line, choose 1 character on your opponent's front and switch it to rest. So yeah, and then we have the Impactor, which is how you're going to win your game. Activate main if on the there's field, draw a card, give this character. Your opponent cannot choose this character with abilities of characters or triggers until the end of the turn. So this laughs at your opponent if they have a special. I love it.
Oh, that is good. We like things that dodge specials. So what do you think that this deck is looking to play against mostly, that it'll be able to capitalize against and really take over the game? Is it stronger into these 4K spammer decks, or perhaps the removal heavy decks, or perhaps it's stronger into the go big decks?
Go big decks, the ones that don't build wide board fast enough that you can take advantage of it. Any deck that can just spit out bodies like it's nobody's business, you struggle a little bit, because again, the deck's great. You can really throw your opponent for a whirl because they're not the first. I'm gonna be straight honest with you. The first major event with this deck, if someone put in thousands of hours of rep and understands this deck like the back of their hand, they will throw everybody for a whirl because they're not going to understand what the hell your deck is doing. Because again, this is so under people's radar, it's not even funny. So players, be warned, this deck can throw you for every loop known to man.
Hey, that is very good to know. So, do you think that this is a deck that's going to make it into our top tier gameplay strategies that we have, or perhaps it is not that good, but it's going to be one of those decks that the niche few who can tolerate learning how to pilot such a difficult deck will be able to capitalize on our meta?
Capitalize on the meta. It's just, if you know what you're doing with the deck, it will definitely surprise the hell out of a lot going in. But eventually, once they start knowing what the hell you're doing, don't play this every single locals. You switch this out with other decks so that your opponent does not know what you're. So when they come again against it, they're like, "What?" So it should have been yellow.
So, do you think that this deck is going to have any polarized matchups where it's not going to be very good against?
It doesn't have bad matchups per se, but it has some, like, it will struggle into decks that... This has the purple code suffering fiasco of it. If your opponent board state can create enough 4Ks, you're not going to clear out enough of them in your current list decks designed to actually answer everything, and that's the big problem, right? Wish I would instantly put Rolo in if it's did the double energy generator as well. I hate that it doesn't let you kill double energy, because that should have been what it did. If we're going to be paying 2 AP, should be able to kill that. But yeah, it's just me.
No, I agree with that. 2 AP is such a large investment. It should have a really busted ability, kind of like CC does in red. So, looking at all of these, what are the final thoughts that you have? Do you think that this deck is going to be surprising anybody at any of our regionals coming up, particularly Dallas?
Possibly, if someone has put in the hours of rep, right? Players, again, if you know your matchups, like the back of your hand against Roy, everything like that, your opponent's not going to be prepared when you suspend their thing and go, now this thing ain't swinging for the turn. So good luck with that.
All right.
And the fact that this thing laughs at, your opponent can't choose this card with abilities or characters or with characters or triggers until the end of their turn. They can use options, but making it so that, Roy Mustang can't touch this. Making it so Ichigo can't touch this. The only way they're using it. Yeah. So preventing your opponent until the end of their turn from doing that is just really good. And again, if there's all the requirement is if there's a rested character on your opponent's field, draw a card, give this character. This can innately do this protection, which again, we see this with Black Clover. If you can get the barrier spell up on your Asta every turn after turn, the chances of you winning on your deck is just phenomenally better. And again, this thing has a barrier. And again, you have so many ways of suspending at least one character on your opponent's field. You're in a good spot, because now this thing, especially if you can multiple of these up, your opponent's not going to be able to stop this. Because again, when you now go from decks of, I have 16 removals, down to now being, well, my special can't remove it, so that's sad if it's a trigger special. But also, the only way is I have to have the removal spell in my hand. Well, I'm screwed. I don't have that.
Yeah. It'll be really hard for these only reactive style decks to be able to meet up and beat that. All right, but that just about covers everything we wanted to do. Thank you again, Kyle, for joining us for all of this. Where can people find you?
In the description on the UB tubes as Ride My Avatar. Well, no, that's for Digimon. Universities. You'll find me in the description.
All right, and you can find me as well. And everyone, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow both of us. And we will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.